So welcome back to my channel, guys. This is JB23 vlog, and for today's video I'd like to share on how to overhaul the HG25 model of purifier. So this is major overhauling of purifier, guys. As you can see, as for always, we have to follow the checklist. First of all, you need to follow the lockout and tagout procedure, and you have to ensure that the purifier is properly isolated. As you can see, guys, the vertical shaft and the horizontal shaft is already dismantled, and also the separator bowl and the crankcase, the gear case oil has been removed and cleaned, and all parts is already brought out to the workshop for replacing, for inspection, replacement of bearing, and cleaning. So these are the top assembly, and this is the horizontal shaft, guys. So that bearing, so in this major overhauling, guys, we have to replace all the bearings. So this is the vertical shaft. As you can see, you have to replace all the bearing. So there are two bearings from bottom and one bearing in the middle part. And this is the bowl, separator bowl, and that's the part is the pilot valve. And for overhauling, guys, as for always, operating procedure is, before carrying out any overhauling, major overhauling or bowl cleaning, we have to read and follow the instruction book. So this is the friction boost. And before carrying out, we have to read and understand all the instruction prior for overhauling of a certain machinery. So in this case, guys, we already dismantled everything, the centrifugal clutch and the separator bowl. So here we comes now this is the bearing assembly, or the assembly of the spring. This is the bearing assembly, guys, in which there is springs. So what we will do in this part is to inspect and measure the spring wear, or the height of the spring. If the spring height is the wear of the spring height exceeds at 1 millimeter, then we have to replace all the springs. As you can see, guys, this is the spring. There is a certain limit that we have to follow. If the height of the spring wear is less than 1 millimeter, then that's still good to use. And of course, we have to check also some cracks or any deformation of the spring. Then if there is one, then we have to replace the spring. So that's the casing of the spring, guys. All of them has to be clean, checked and inspected, and to renew the lubrication or the grease part. As you can see, guys, we bring the manual not to get any error of the overhauling. And this is the bearing cover, guys, or the mist cover of the bearing. So there is also o-ring, a sealing part of that. So these are now the springs, and we have to measure. We use the caliper for measuring of that springs. That's very important, guys, because this part is all of the part is very important. And it is necessary to check and measure the spring heights, and as you can see guys, you have to read. So this is Mitsubishi. You have to read the instruction book and see. That's the important part of overhauling in this vertical shaft assembly. So in my next video guys, I will show the part 2 of this overhauling. And in this part guys, you have to, as you can see, this is the bearing casing assembly that you have to check all of the O-rings which are worn out, needs to replace. All of the parts that worn out needs for replacement guys. So this is the instruction for measuring the height of the spring. In this case guys, this is the spring in which stays at the bottom part of the vertical shaft. Bottom part of the vertical shaft guys, this in which there is a spring and the ball, and there is a corresponding height, that in case if the wear exceeds 1 millimeter, then we need to replace also. So that's the bottom part, and it's the bottom part of the bearing, see, as you can see guys. So that part also need to change, and see, there's a spacer bushing, and the ball, there is a ball also, and the spring. As you can see guys, you have to check, and you must ensure that everything is in place, and the procedure of which is stipulated in the manual must be followed guys. So the frequency of this overhauling is based on the preventive maintenance system, in which in this case is in every 12,000 hours. So now that's the part that we insert the bearing together with its casing guys. So before inserting guys, there are many methods in which to insert without over hammering. So we heated the bearing with the use of hydraulic oil at 100 degrees and just little bit hammering using the pipe, not to damage guys the ball bearing. Just little bit hammering using pipe guys, just to ensure the end-to-end part of the bearing and the vertical shaft. So we have to be extra careful when inserting the bearing guys. We have to ensure that the bearing is not damaged, and after that install the lock nut and the lock spring. You have to slowly cool down the bearing which we heated from the hydraulic oil guys. Not to cool down abruptly, but just to slowly, because this is metal guys, just to avoid any stress of the metal. So as you can see guys, is the bearing is already detached, and we install the new bearing. Just apply a little bit lubricant for the lock nut. This lock nut guys is threaded, so the thread of this type, which is SG25, is right hand. Everything, all thread part is right-handed. Just tight by hand, then by screwdriver, a little bit hammering, and proceed for the locking device to the locking spring or the lock retaining ring. Just put in a vise, then so until here guys, I hope learned something about this video guys. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. This is JB23 vlog. Thank you for watching guys. See you in my next video. Bye bye.